Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mired in the web of the second COVID wave, India has been leading the COVID fight back ferociously. And at such a time, the economic report card for 2021 has brought some signs of relief and green shoots. The last year seems to have ended on an optimistic note, at least if the figures that came out for 2021 are looked at closely. In fact, India has clawed its way back and managed to sustain a GDP growth of -7.3 with a 56% growth in 8 core sectors in April itself. And that is something that is a huge relief for those who are watching the economy very closely. Even the chief economic advisor K.V. Subramanian said the momentum of GDP growth has been affected by the second COVID wave, but assured that its overall economic impact is unlikely to be very large. Well, look at the numbers. In Q4, we've shown a 1.6% growth in the economy, which was 0.4% in the Q3, which is the third quarter. And that really becomes the big takeaway in this particular number story that has just come out. But the opposition hasn't really wanted to look at the silver lining amidst the gloom and has continued to raise doubts, calling it the worst ever state of the economy in the last 40 years. And that brings me to the legitimate question tonight. Have reforms powered the GDP jumpstart? That's the question and the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And my first question goes to Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari of the Samajwadi Party. Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, positive green shoots. We, even in the last financial year, have seen there has been a wee bit of a financial recovery at about 1.6%. So it wasn't all negative. Yes, we were affected by lockdown and a large part of 2021 was washed away in an economic slowdown, and there were problems in the economy even before that. But this last quarter growth of 1.6% and the 56% jump in the performance of the core sector, doesn't that give us some hope that the economy may be on the path to recovery?
Well, I think if these numbers have to be looked at from two lenses, what the government was expecting, the PSO numbers, the government will cheer. But the fact of the matter is, these numbers, as I was reading some headlines on Economic Times itself, these numbers do not reflect the pain in the unorganized sector. These numbers do not reflect that for the first time there is massive unemployment that is rising in the villages across the country, and overall unemployment remains very high. The second thing that these numbers do not reflect is the kind of second wave that we have seen. The numbers are telling what various investment banks such as Barclays and others are talking about, the kind of losses we as a country are incurring every month in the face of the second wave. So when you have an economy that is contracted and looks at its worst in the last 40 years, you have a political leadership in the country for which elections are far more important, political propaganda is far more important than policies itself, and you don't see competent leaders driving the governance on the financial matters. And third, you have a massive second wave for which the government was not prepared. I think that this government is underestimating the kind of economic stress India is going to see.
Well, but Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, I know you're going to blame the government, and many people are facing many problems in the current situation. There's absolutely no debate on that. But the question here is that are we seeing the green shoots? And let's just look at some of the indicators that are showing up at this point in time. If you look at the improvement as far as the economy is concerned, construction is up from its level in 2020. The previous financial year, it's at 14.5% compared to 0.1%. Manufacturing is up from -4.2 to 6.9. Yes, agriculture is a wee bit down because in the lockdown we had a problem of labor not being available and the impact in rural areas. But clearly, Dr. Patra, these are not some of the indicators that the opposition can see. What they can only see are the big numbers of unemployment, and that clearly is a huge problem at this point.
See, Navika, there are two options. Either one has to be optimistic or one has to be pessimistic. I believe it is better to see the silver lining and be optimistic. The best part is the results are better than we expected. And what the expectation was minus 10%. Expectation of growth was somewhere around, say, minus 8 to minus 10%. But we see minus 7.3%, which itself is better than what we expected. Secondly, 2 consecutive quarters of positive growth really indicates that, well, yes, the trajectory is towards upward movement. The trajectory is towards revival. Revival is the key word. And, well, yes, as far as the 8 core sectors and 56% in the 8 core sectors is concerned, it really has a lot to speak, particularly the construction sector, which in fact would be one of the most important parameters as far as revival of Indian economy is concerned. It has gone up from a base of almost 0.1% to more than 14%. It speaks volume. And what are we expecting in the future? In the future, with a good monsoon, in the future with the revival package, and as Nirmala Sitharamanji, the finance minister, speaks out in the interview to Times of India today, saying that many of the provisions in the budget, in fact, are still to be felt. And when these will be felt, I'm sure, riding on these factors, good monsoon, vaccination, dropping of the caseload, and the revival projects that the government has launched, I'm sure that we are going to have good times ahead.
Well, Dr. Patra, you did say that, there are 2 choices of being either optimistic or pessimistic. I thought there is a third choice, which is to be realistic, and realistically looking at things. Week ending May 23rd, our unemployment rate is at 17.41%. It's been the highest since June 2020, and job losses today stand at 7.3 million lost jobs according to CMIE data. I would try to say that while, yes, there are green shoots appearing, this happens to be the biggest challenge for the government in terms of performance as far as, household incomes are concerned.
Let me. See, Navika, you have a point, because we have to discuss this revival as far as Indian economy is concerned, the results of the GDP today, with the backdrop of the pandemic that we are seeing in 100 years. I mean, while the opposition, in fact, goes ahead to say that these are the worst results in number of years, let me also tell you, the kind of pandemic situation that the world over is facing is something that we have seen once in a century situation. So it's but natural that, of course, there would be some amount of problem as far as employment is concerned. And remember the term Jaan bhi, Jahan bhi. Jaan also has to be protected. His life has to be protected, and employment has to be protected. And that's the reason as to why a 20 lakh crore Atmanirbhar Bharat package has been given out. MSME sector and every sector, in fact, has been taken care of. And as Nirmalaji rightly said, many of the, in fact, rollout of the budget are still to be felt. And when these are felt, of course, we are going to take care of all these. And I firmly believe, as was said by the chief economic advisor only a couple of weeks ago, that as far as the second wave is concerned, the tremors would be felt less.
Well, let me get in Ghanshyam Tiwari ji. Ghanshyam Tiwari ji, look at some of the data very closely, and you're somebody who understands this data. In February, our core sector performance was at minus 3.8%. In March, it's gone up to 6.8%. It's a huge recovery. Whether you like to admit it from a point of view of an opposition leader or not, as an economist, you will look at these numbers realistically, I hope. Look at rail traffic. Freight traffic. It has grown from 64.6 metric tons to 92.29 metric tons between May of 2020 to May of 21, which is 43% growth. Clearly, the revival signs are there for you to see.
I'll say 3 things. One, every one of us wants this revival. Whether the government actually accomplishes the revival and they want to take the credit for it, please take it. But please revive the economy. That's the core point. Please revive the employment status in the country. People are losing jobs. They are drawing more from their provident fund. There is data all around that proves that. A headline today in Times of India is that petrol and diesel, petrol is in Mumbai is twice as much as it is in New York. This is what this government has done. When people are facing more pain, they are giving the same people who voted for them even more pain. As far as the recovery is concerned and Samit Patra's optimism is concerned, you just look at the impact this pandemic is having. You are talking about unemployment numbers. The same unemployment numbers on 1st April, when the second wave had not stuck in the same way, was near 7%. So within a month, the numbers zipped through the roof, zoomed through the roof. So I think the key is that this government must have the brain trust to be able to take the country out of this situation. But when you look at the brain trust of this government, a finance minister who has not performed for multiple years, that she has been given the opportunity, a chief economic advisor that the nation knows nothing about, his thought leadership is not known. Even the RBI governor who was appointed, there is no authority on the subject that is pre-established. You cannot function at a time when the nation needs its best minds to work. You cannot function with a set of minds just because when the best minds work, the Prime Minister and his cabinet becomes insecure. We want the best minds in the country to work as a team to take the country out of this. We know that the Prime Minister has no answer on unemployment or economy. This is not his subject. His subject is politics and how to win elections. That phase is over. Now,
Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, when the economy performs better, you say, it's not the government's achievement alone. It is actually people and the wheels of the country that are moving.
When did the economy perform better in this government? When did the economy perform better?
But for all the other problems, you want to point your fingers at the Prime Minister. Well, let's look at it. Imports are up 167% in April. Exports are up. Gold imports are up, which means some people are at least buying things, and these are indicators in the economy. Are we faced with a problem? Yes, we are. Is the economy in the pink of health? No, it's not. But ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is the first time in 100 years that we've seen a pandemic of this nature. Of course, it will extract a price from the economy in India as it has done with economies across the world. But is blaming one man, Narendra Modi, the only solution to the problem? Clearly, it's not. What are the solutions and how we should move forward? Well, all ideas invited right here on Times Now, because we will take your ideas and pass them on to our decision makers and policy makers. Thank you very much for joining me on this big economy debate.